An American self-help author, Henry Cloud, says there's a difference between solitude and isolation. One is connected and one isn't. Solitude replenishes and isolation diminishes. In my selection, Astronaut of the Shallot by Wendy Nicol, a long-lost human faces desertion and finds ways to liven up his everlasting loneliness in his capsule, the Shallot. There is truly nothing worse than being lost, forgotten, and the feeling that no one knows. Astronaut of the Shallot by Wendy Nicol. I've never known anything outside the silver-tinged hull of the Shallot. It floats freely in the darkness, drifting, always in a gentle, steady motion. Through its thick-paned window, I watch the contents of the universe spill out before me. The moon, the stars, the sun, and far below, with swirls of blue and white, a planet, which, according to my books, must be Earth. When I was a child, the Shallot would read these books to me in a crystalline voice I called Mother. A part of me knew, even then, that that voice couldn't hold me like a real mother could. But it was the closest thing I had in my egg-shaped capsule. Occasionally a sudden movement catches my eye. A ship's burst from the planet's cloudy surface. Its engines blaze with fire and life. I rush to the window and press my face against it, straining for someone, anyone who might look like me. But the ships remain distant, and all too soon they disappear beyond my window frame. Part of me hates these shadows, these signs of humanity, things I can only read about and watch from afar. A larger part of me would die without these reminders that I'm not alone. The Shallot, though small, is sufficient for my needs. I have food and water for a lifetime, thanks to the foresight and compassion of whoever prepared this floating capsule for me. Though I may not live on Earth or breathe their air, I'm every bit as human. Whoever designed this place wanted me to know that. Of that, I'm certain. The only other clue to my existence here is the patch sewn on my suits, embroidered with the simple words, "Avoid human contact." And a symbol my books have told me means I have a rare disease, a pheromone allergy that would mean my death if I were to encounter another human being. It's my curse, which I have no choice but to bear, and no say in the manner in which I bear it. A bump. It jolts me full awake. A silvery ship with red stripes across it has docked, tethering itself to my home. I stumble from my sheets and peer out. A face? This face is like my own, yet unalike. It's smaller, smoother, and it stares at me with wide eyes as blue as the sea below. I draw back in surprise, and the face looks in curious and shouts, "Can you open this door?" I've read the sign beneath the window, "Do not open," more times than I can count. More times even than I read, "Avoid human contact." But these warnings in my head are drowned by the thrumming of my excitement. She presses her hand to the window, and I place mine atop it as my mouth tries to form words to explain what I feel. Longing. The glass separates us, keeps me from ever knowing what her hand would feel like in mine. This may be my only chance to find out. My hands betray me. Before caution can assert itself, they flung the bar upward, disengaging the locks. The air hisses, pressurizing between the two spaces, and in that moment, my own eagerness deserts me, leaving only the question, what have I done? I pace the room as the stranger, the human, struggles with the weight of the door. It gives suddenly with a cry of protest, and she stands before me. Human. Just like me. Words fail me, yet still I breathe. I live. Could all these years of isolation have been for nothing? She looks around the Shallot, at my bed, my food stores. I saw a light on in one of these quarantine pods and stopped to investigate. What are you doing here? How did you get here? These pods aren't supposed to be in use anymore. They've been deserted for years. My mouth opens an answer, but something is wrong. Horribly, terribly wrong. My arms move in slow motion, painful and stiff. My joints are swollen, and my tongue has gone completely numb. What have I done? My voice sounds harsh and strained. I lift my hand to my heart where the patch has been sewn and stare down at the warning I fail to heed. Avoid human contact. The stranger steps forward, hands out in alarm. You've got the allergy? She gapes, her eyes upon my patch, and speaks a word unknown to me. A word that sounds harsh on her tongue, yet full of something. Anger, fire, life. Why did you open the door? Didn't you know what this meant? Quick, get in my shuttle. We've got to get you down to Earth, now. Flustered, panting, she scoops me up, and all I can feel is the warmth of her arms, the softness of her skin. She leads me through the door, out of the shallot, out of the only world I've ever known. Though my eyes water and my breaths come in rasp, I gape unabashed at my surroundings. If the shallot was a mother, warm, soft, and light, this ship has the bearing of a father. Its lines are sharp, cool, and metal, and tools lay scattered about. Even the smell is unfamiliar, and it stings my nose in a way that's both pleasant and awful. The engines roar to life. The stranger pulls on the controls, and slowly we float away, leaving the shallot behind. Goodbye, I whisper, my voice cracked and shaky, as the egg-shaped capsule grows smaller and smaller, until soon it passes from view. To Earth, I whisper, and despite my pain, my heart seems to swell with unbridled hope. She tells me her name, her voice breathless and tense, and then she tells me to rest. A cure was found years ago. The capsules were all emptied out, deserted, and those with the ailment could live out their lives on Earth. How they missed your capsule, I don't know. If we can get you on the surface in time, you can have a normal life too. I mean, that's what you want, right? But of course, I couldn't answer.